people that are talking about the pineal gland and the chakra system, like, your crown chakra, your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sex center, your sacral centers down here. And then they say there's more down your feet and below in the ground and way above your head. And then I read somebody that said, oh, they ripped their whole chakra system out because it was a Draco implant. Now, sure, I feel the body. I feel the different places in the body. It's, sensations here and there. But, I really question whether there's any kundalini whatsoever. All of these, pranayama processes of breathing and what have you. I mean, it's a lot of new age hooey. It's all created with words. And, before you have words, you have awareness. And if you're a Zen master, you can catch a dove out of the air without any words going on in your head. The words get in the way. So, what I want you to consider is all of this nonsense that's taught. It's not just, the mainstream schools that teach you about DNA. I went and I looked for electron micrograms of DNA to look for the double helix. They don't exist. All you've got is it's just a dark line with little dot, 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 dot. There's no double helix picture. There's an electron. No, it's a X-ray crystallography picture that somebody interpreted to mean a double-stranded DNA. It's no picture of a double-stranded DNA. It's X-ray crystallography and somebody's interpretation of it. So, when you see these pictures of double-stranded DNA, they're just somebody that drew them, either by hand or with a computer. There's no pictures of double-stranded DNA. And then there's the kooks in the New Age movement that have been saying for years, oh, you've got to activate your DNA, and you've got 12-strand spiritual DNA. This makes no sense. DNA, if it exists, is deoxynucleic acid. It is made with sugars and things. What are you going to tell me, that there's some spiritual sugar out there that's DNA? It's so ridiculous. It just makes New Age people look stupid, and I think they are very, very, very stupid. And then I have people that talk about, Jesus and the devil, of being two sides of the same coin, good cop, bad cop. It's a great meme for people that are fundamentalist Christians, because, that's the way that they look at it. But it's not the truth of what the teachings of Jeshua ben Joseph was about. And even, the Luciferian, some of the ideas that come from Lucifer, well, there's some interesting stuff in there. And it's not about, Moloch and eating babies. Lucifer is the light bringer is about wisdoms and mathematics and reading and writing, Thoth, and some of these other symbolic gods. I mean, they're not necessarily bad, but they do draw you into the world. And, well, I don't know how you escape the world. But it's true to me that what I am is like a rider on a horse, and the body is a horse. It's a separate thing from my consciousness. It's got a consciousness of its own. And, a good rider and horse team acts as one unit, and that's, when things are running great and you don't have problems, that's the way it works, is like a rider and a horse. So the centaur is, a man who's made up of a man and a horse, one unit, and that's what a human rider and a horse are like. And it's inside the human, that's what it's like. You are riding your body in essence. And, a human that's riding on a horse, the horse basically does its own thing with very little input from the human once they're used to one another. The horse knows what to do. So, the human doesn't need to do very much at all. And, and then it's the idea of putting blinders on horses so that the human can tell the horse where to go. And if a lot of times I feel like I've got blinders on by unknown beings that, are deriving great pleasure at sending me around doing different things that I don't know what they are. So what does that mean? Well, it just means that, in the human world, and maybe it gets back to, the simulation theories of, various people, Nick Bostock, for example, that were running around in a multiplayer video game, and there's other beings up there, in other dimensions perhaps, that are playing us. In the old Star Trek, the original series, there was the one episode where there was 3 brains without bodies that had psychic abilities and they could talk. And they kept betting quatloos, which was like money, on thralls, which were like in the old days of Rome, the gladiators, who was going to win, and they would bet on that. And it's almost like that's what goes on here in the human world, is like there's hidden beings that are running humans around and they're betting on what's going to happen. I think maybe that's a simplification too. So your takeaway from all of this is, as far as spending a lot of time going to learn about kundalinis and learning about DNA activations, and it was called the Astral Psychic Circus by Dr. David Hawkins. It's bullshit and bafflegab, and it doesn't get you anywhere. It really doesn't. The best thing you can do is try and see this thing I'm telling you, that your body is not you. Your body is a separate consciousness from you, and that you are perhaps your related consciousness. You've got connections to these things, but maybe it'll help you if you feel like you're dying. If you feel like, if you've been told that your body's dying, well, I'm sorry for the body, but for you, you're not the body, so you're going to do something else. You really are not the body. What else can I tell you? Well, I am sort of concerned about the body too, because it's your partner, so what do you do with it? And that gets into all of this bullshit about on some of these Facebook groups. And I've told people about this stuff, that people are so worried about nutrition. Should I have no sugar or aspartame? I'm sorry, you need sugar to make your body run. You need the glucose. If that is true, you have to. It's Robert Anton Wilson, and this is what you're taught in biology: is that the body runs on sugar, and you eat sugars. And if you don't eat, then you get really hungry and you don't feel well until you eat again. So provisionally go with, you need sugar and starches. Starch is just long chains of sugar put together. Provisionally, your body needs this stuff. I say provisionally because there's the advanced yogis that say, no, you don't even need to eat. You can get your energy for your body, prana or chi, from, well, they say your environment, and it gets very complicated. If you're living in a matrix, then what is this energy? Because you might very well just be a sprite on a computer screen with simulated food and simulated chi. I mean, think about it. In a video game, the video game characters might go to a cafe and eat, but it's a picture just like on a movie screen of people eating. There's no food there. There's nothing there. The only thing there is a projection of light onto a screen. And, some people are indicating that's what our reality is more like than ever. And then they add the feelings to it. So, the feelings are the feeling of hunger and thirst is what drives you to go and drink and eat. Why do I get into this amount of detail about this? Because it's worth investigating. If you take all of the stuff that you've been taught and you look at it, go look at Google and look for electron micrographs of DNA. You might find some computer animations, but you will not find an electron micrograph. And if you do, please send it to me, because I cannot find one. So there is no evidence of this double helix, which means genes don't exist. They don't exist. Genetic disease does not exist. It is all a big flibbergibbeted lie. So it means that somewhere in the programming of your so-called human consciousness, you have to throw away all that genetic stuff. And, I went to school for this, but it was force-fed to you. It's basically, you don't have time to go and research it yourself. Here's your textbook, this is your DNA, and, there's a test next week, and get ready for it, and you just have to regurgitate what they give you. I looked at scanning electron microscope and a regular electron microscope, and we saw stuff, but, I don't remember them showing DNA. So I'm really questioning a lot of stuff. And, if you're living in a matrix, then this stuff is simulated. Everything is simulated. So, you can get away from your worry and fear about everything because, it's not real. It's Radiohead fake plastic trees. You look at through an optical microscope and, you see things, but I told you that you and the body are not even the same thing. You're related things. So can you even trust what the body is giving you? You can look at optical illusions and it fools your eyes. So your eyes can be fooled. Everything can be a big foolie on you. Well, don't go into paranoia over it. It just means that don't take things too seriously. And that's what the world plugs you into, being very serious popcorn about every little thing. Serious, oh my God, save the whales, the rainforest, fracking of the ground, chemtrails, alien invasion, the politicians are corrupt, my girlfriend is screwing around on me. It never ends, and I'm telling you, look with a flinty eye at all of this stuff that's coming your way to make you upset and triggered. Because if you're in a simulation, it's not real. It's a big illusion. And I know you have to play along with the illusion because you can't figure out how to get out of your body and to get out of this matrix. So I suppose you're forced to be in the game. But knowing that this is not what they say it is, maybe you'll join my quest to figure it all out. And that's what I love to do. So, there's your update for today.